Articles 19(1)d and E guarantee the freedom of movement and the freedom of residence. These clauses guarantee the right to move freely throughout the country and the right to shift and move within any part of the country without any sort of discrimination. Under Article 19, Clause 5, these rights can be restricted in the interests of the general public or in the interests of any scheduled tribe. Note that unlike clauses 2 to 4 of Article 19, Clause 5 permits restrictions in public interest and not public order. An example of a restriction on movement is the police surveillance of suspects. In certain situations, however, where surveillance activities of the state are so excessive, leading to the violation of the dignity of an individual, the court may choose to intervene. We will be discussing this case of Khadak Singh in detail elsewhere in this course. The Supreme Court has also in the past been called upon to determine the validity of externment orders. Such orders passed by the district magistrate require persons to stay away from particular places or districts for specified periods of time in the interest of the safety of the public. This was a method of dealing with troublesome characters in a locality when there was insufficient material to initiate criminal prosecution. Externment is no longer as common a measure as it once was to maintain public tranquility. Now let us discuss the last of the freedoms under Article 19, that of profession, trade, and business. This right guarantees to every citizen the right to take up any job or employment, vocation, or calling of his liking. Note that Article 19(1)g uses four similar and overlapping expressions for the same purpose. They are profession, occupation, trade, and business. The attempt was to make this provision as comprehensive as possible. It is important to understand that this right does not guarantee a citizen that he or she will be employed in a profession, trade, or business or occupation. It is in the nature of a liberty that the state cannot unreasonably prevent a citizen from carrying on an activity of his or her choice. A citizen cannot force the state to trade or do business with him. Needless to mention, a citizen cannot claim such a right against a fellow citizen. You have no right to be employed by or to enter into a contract with a fellow citizen. Trade or business has been used to refer to any systematic or organized activity with a commercial element. Selling vegetables and vending goods as hawkers have been considered to be examples of a trade or business. Although the provision enables a citizen to carry out any trade or business of his choice, this does not include the right to carry out a trade or business which is illegal or dangerous to the society. For instance, no one can claim a right to continuing trafficking of persons even though he or she may be illegally carrying on such an activity. Similarly, the Supreme Court has held that a right cannot be claimed to carry on activities such as the sale of liquor or poison for that matter. The word occupation has also been given a wide meaning. The court has held that the word is wide enough to include any regular work, profession, or job which an individual is engaged in. For instance, providing education has been considered an occupation and not a trade or business. Considered as a charitable act, education has not been considered to be a trade or business. The establishment and administration of educational institutions has been considered to be an occupation and hence is protected under Article 19(1)g. Similar to 19 Clause 5, Article 19 Clause 6 also enables the state to impose restrictions on the right under Article 19(1)g on the ground of public interest. The second part of the provision enables the state to make any regulation in regard to the professional or technical qualifications required for carrying out trade or business, profession, and occupation. Much like Article 19(1)a, there is a fair amount of jurisprudence which has been developed around permissible restrictions under Article 19 Clause 6. This has been dealt with elaborately in the reading material for this unit. In this video, we have learnt about 5 rights, which are largely in the nature of freedoms that are guaranteed under Article 19. These are the rights to assembly, association, movement, residence, and profession, trade, or business. While couched in complex terms, these clauses protect basic freedoms, which citizens routinely exercise, in most cases, without even being aware of the fact that these are guaranteed rights. For the state, Articles 19, Clause 3 to 6 form a code which prescribes the extent to which it can interfere with such freedoms. The common thread running through these clauses is reasonableness. A citizen should be able to exercise these basic freedoms unless the state can show compelling reasons for restricting them. Thank you.